So let me kind of introduce myself so you know a little bit more about who the guy is who's up here talking to you. Education. Well, I actually graduated from Capistrano Valley High School, so I'm actually kind of a local guy. Grew up around here. I went to UCLA for undergrad. Those SC folks, I apologize. Took a year off between undergrad and law school, and I had a chance to travel to Japan for a little while. I taught English there, had a great time. After law school, I went to Loyola Law School, and I graduated in 1998. So there's actually now some distance between the graduation and today. So, and with that brings some practical experiences. So that's one of the things we'll talk about today. Legal background. Well, for most of my professional life, I was as an attorney at a firm, and about 5 years ago, I thought, you know what, I'm kind of young enough where if I start on my own, I kind of crashed and burned, it'd be okay. But fortunately, it worked out pretty well. So about 5 years ago in November, I decided to quit my firm where I was at. I was a partner at a kind of a national law firm, and I started Cumming Associates. And at the time, I did really litigation and I did corporate work. And in the context of litigation, I did a lot of real estate work. For example, I defended brokers who allegedly didn't disclose things in certain transactions or allegedly messed up. So I defended a lot of you guys in lawsuits. I also prosecuted cases, so I was the plaintiff. So a lot of litigation experience, a lot of corporate work where I helped with real estate transactions and things like that. Well, when I started my practice in late 2008, it was kind of a weird time, as probably a lot of you know. We hit kind of a very big recession. And so folks were calling me. They said, hey, do you do bankruptcy work? And I was like, well, no, I don't really do bankruptcy work. I know about it, but I really don't do that type of work. And then after probably my 10th phone call, I thought, you know what, I probably shouldn't be so selective, considering I just started my own practice and I have a wife and 3 kids. So, yeah, we can do bankruptcy. So I was able to partner with a particular gentleman who really knew what he was doing, and over the course of a period of time became pretty proficient at it. So now I have actually a pretty good bankruptcy practice where we do a lot of Chapter 7s, we do a lot of Chapter 13s, we do some Chapter 11s, we do litigation in the context of bankruptcy. But where my unique strength comes in, for purposes today, is my real estate background combined with the bankruptcy background and how those two concepts intertwine, because they do all the time. I've given this talk a few times, and really the reason why I chose the top 10 things is because these are kind of the general questions that real estate folks ask me about how these things work. And so I've kind of compiled a list, and that list has changed a little bit through time, but ultimately these are kind of the standard general questions that most of you folks might just not know what it's all about. Real estate background. Well, some of you might not know that if you are an attorney, which I am, and you want to be a broker, all you got to do is sign up for the test, and they're going to give you a Scantron and a number 2 pencil, and if you answer enough right, you become a broker. So that's what I did. So a few years ago, I actually got my broker's license, and I passed the test, and I was fortunate. So actually now I'm a broker. I just did my recent renewal with all the the 45-hour deal. I actually have my own real estate company. I'm not too involved in that process, but I'm a broker with someone who actually works for me, and we're involved in that process. So I'm involved kind of the day-to-day transactional stuff. My focus ultimately is law, not necessarily real estate per se. Areas of practice. So really I do 3 things at the end of the day. I do a lot of litigation work, both state court, federal court, a lot of representing a lot of real estate related issues, but also a lot of business issues, a lot of intellectual property issues, some employment issues. I do a lot of corporate work where we help people put companies together and do various agreements and things of that nature. And of course, I do bankruptcy work. And so today we're really going to focus on how real estate issues and how bankruptcy issues kind of intertwine and kind of go through that. Family, I've been married to my wonderful wife, Julie, for about 16 years now. 3 kids, 11, 8, and 5, and just kind of slowly get my butt kicked. It's a lot of work, but it's good. It really is good. So, okay, well, this is the legal disclaimer. All right. Basically, what I'm supposed to tell you, and it's kind of true, you can't rely upon anything I tell you, et cetera, et cetera. But really, the idea is to be informative, but at the same time, if you really have some meaningful, real issues, you should conduct your own research and or talk to an attorney, and don't rely upon the things I tell you. A little strange, huh? But that's how it works these days.